Namaste, Swagatam. This is how you say hello and welcome in the language that I'll be presenting today. And that language is Nepali. First, let's take a quick look at the country Nepal. As you can see from the map, Nepal is located in southern Asia between China and India. So the country is nested between these two countries. Nepali is the official language of Nepal. It's also known as the mountain language, and it's no surprise as Nepal has 8 of the world's tallest mountains, including Mount Everest. The language was introduced into the central Himalaya by immigrants who entered from the northwest before the 10th century. Its ascendancy over the other languages of the region is linked to a process of political domination and cultural assimilation. As you can see from the second bulletin, the language went through a number of name changes before it was officially called Nepali. It belongs to the Indo-Aryan or Indic language family, and it's spoken by only approximately 17 million native speakers, which is only 44.6% of the population of Nepal. It's also spoken in India and Hong Kong, and this could be due to the close proximity of the countries. Non-Nepali languages spoken there include English and Sindhi. So if only 44.6% speaks Nepali, how does the other 54% of the population communicate with each other? Well, Nepal is considered a multilingual country, so it's no surprise that they have approximately 122 languages listed. Of the 122 languages that they have, 100 are still in use and considered living, while 2 are extinct and 8 are considered dying. Let's take a quick look at a map of central Nepal. As the key indicates right here, number 8 illustrates the areas or the region where Nepal is spoken, and just pointing out a few areas here and right here. The language is used sparingly, and wherever the language is used, it's normally accompanied by another language. And so this makes majority of the citizens of Nepal actually bilingual. Let's look up the linguist system. The writing system used is a syllabic alphabet. The phonetic and phonology is non-tonal, vowels and consonant. The morphology is an inflecting language, and the syntax is subject, object, verb, or SOV, which is used in other languages such as Japanese and Korean. Let's start with the writing system. As mentioned in the previous slide, it's a syllabic alphabet writing system, and it's called Devanagari. Hopefully I pronounced that right, which I highly doubt. And it's a part of the Brahmic family. If you can direct your attention to the right side of the clip, hopefully I can get it to work. But this is supposed to illustrate an individual actually writing the language, and as you can see, it's written from left to right, and it's normally recognized by the horizontal lines that run along the top of the full letters. The language also has consonant clusters, which are written with ligatures, and ligatures are like cursive in English language, for lack of a better way to put it, when all the letters are written closely together. And so, for example, these 3 consonants by themselves are just these plain looking letters, but when they're written consecutively, they form one block of consonants. The language order is based on a phonetic principle that considers both the manner and the place of articulation of consonants and vowel that they represent. So each letter represents a consonant which carries a vowel. So it starts off with a consonant and a vowel, then you can add another consonant and it has another vowel, and so on. The punctuation used, a dot or a vertical line is used at the end of a sentence, while 2 vertical lines are used to mark full verses. But with the influence of English on their language, period is more regularly used. The Nepali phonology, there are 12 vowels in Nepali, and 10 is commonly used while 2 is rarely used, and there are 36 consonants. After some analysis of the language, it was revealed that each word contains at least one syllable and at the most four syllables. Nepali speakers have difficulty pronouncing the sounds listed right here. Sorry, I skipped over a slide. This is just the vowels and consonants. The image shows all the consonants that are used, and the vowels kind of shows the vowels used. But in order to like pronounce, for example, for the first example, the A is pronounced A as in ago, and it continues on like that. So if you want to like practice or study the vowels, you can do so. Syntax: Nepali language is subject, object, verb. So a Nepali student might say, I every day to school go, which is the same thing as we say in English as I go to school every day. So also reduplication is used in their language to reiterate a concept. So for example, if a student say, oh, my opinion, Nepali food is much, much better than American food. It's the same way of saying, my opinion, Nepali food is way better than American food. It just shows emphasis. A word in Nepali may contain one morpheme, which can be a bare root. But if it contains more than one morpheme, then it's either a root or it's a compound word. The word formation in this language is that you take a pure consonant such as ka, and then you add a vowel, o, and then it joins to make a new alphabet, which is pretty cool, I think. Now we can just go into some part of speech to maybe explain the language a bit better. Nepali, the nouns denote whether it's a male or female, like in Spanish and French languages. So, for example, if it's a feminine, then I is added, and if the noun is masculine, then an O or an A is added. So, for example, right here, Kora is son, while Kori is daughter. Another thing that happens to define feminine nouns is ni is added to the noun. So for example, setri is just setri, but setrini is setri woman. The pronouns are differentiated in terms of person, number, proximity to speaker, and the list goes on. A few examples of pronouns are given: I equals ma, or we equals hami. And then that's just a sentence that shows how pronouns are used, which is basically the same as in English. They come in front majority of the time. The verb in Nepali are quite inflected, and they agree with the subject in terms of number, gender, status, and person. They also inflect for tense, mood, and aspect. And the most important verb used in their language is the verb to be or to become, which is hunu. And just listed down here are just additional verbs that I found, which are kind of interesting. These were like the easiest to pronounce. So if you want to go ahead and pronounce your practice your Nepali, you can go ahead. Adjectives are divided into two categories, declinable and indeclinable. But for the sake of time, we'll just discuss one, which is declinable. which marks gender and number of the noun that they qualify. And again, if it's a male, then it's O, and if it's a singular female, it's I, and if it's plural, it's A. So, for example, sano, kitab, small book. Book is a masculine noun, so that's why the adjective ends with a O. And then sana, kalaharu, which is small pens. The A on the adjective shows that it is marking some plural nouns. And it's used same way as in English, as in the house is tall. The adjective comes after the noun. Or sorry, it comes before the noun. I'm sorry. Postpositions. Case marking lies within a particle known as the postposition in their language, which is parallel to our prepositions that we have in English. There are a number of such one-word primary postposition, and a few I've listed them below. So, for example, ma is a general locative marker, and it shows stuff like in, at, and on, while ko, it marks a noun modifying another noun. Now we've come to the fun part. I've listed a few useful phrases, and the only one that I can pronounce properly is probably namaste. So I'm not going to try and pronounce all the other ones because I know I'm going to get it wrong. But these are just a few useful phrases that you can maybe start practicing, or if you feel like you're going to be traveling to Nepal anytime soon, would be useful. These are just additional phrases. How about you? Let me see if I can pronounce that. Tupai chai. Hopefully I said that right. But don't take my word for it. If you want to practice Nepali or you want to study it more in detail, hear proper pronunciation, there are lots of resources on YouTube and on the internet that are way better than I am, and they can help you a lot better than I have. That's all I have for today. Hopefully you found this video useful and helpful and you learned a lot about Nepali. Thank you guys. Bye.